he has come out with an actual statement now of what his position is, what he believes the United States should do, and he says that the United States should put Chinese flags on F-22 jets and bomb the shit out of Russia. And it is not nearly as stupid and as funny as it is when we actually read the whole quote, okay? Oh my god, can we talk about this for a second? Dude, look at this. Okay, people have kept linking me this, right? So this is a Russian POW. So I'm gonna be honest, right? I don't put much weight in these videos. Many pets were left behind by their owners due to the war in Ukraine. Russian soldiers are feeding their pets.
What the fuck? How is this like? You'd have to have an IQ of 6 to digest this propaganda.
I saw this. I didn't even think about it though. Russia approved list of countries who've taken unfriendly actions against it, including Australia, Canada, EU, Japan, Taiwan. So I want to talk about, and we're going to pause the music for this one because this one's something else, okay? So Donald Trump recently was talking to people about the conflict in Ukraine, and Donald Trump was talking about Joe Biden's response and how terrible it was, even though I think his response has been mostly good. And then he was like saying, oh, like Biden's weakness is what caused this, da 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 da. And then the people asked, the interviewers asked, what would you do differently? And he said, oh, I'm not going to answer because I don't want to give my plan away. Right? Which really is just a cover for I wouldn't do anything different, or I have zero clue what I would do. Right? That's what it's a cover for. Well, Trump has finally come out with what he would do in this situation. Oh, and I will say, in the past, what we would say he has done is get impeached for delaying military aid to Ukraine, like Javelin missiles, because he wanted political favors from the government of Ukraine, Zelenskyy in particular. Just throwing it out there, okay? Throwing it out there. So he has come out with an actual statement now of what his position is, what he believes the United States should do, and he says that the United States should put Chinese flags on F-22 jets and bomb the shit out of Russia. And it is not nearly as stupid and as funny as it is when we actually read the whole quote, okay? Let's read the whole quote. In a speech to Republican donors in New Orleans, I'm sorry, this shit's so stupid. Donald Trump said that the U.S. should put Chinese flags on F-22 jets and bomb the shit out of Russia in retribution for its invasion of Ukraine. The Washington Post reported on the remarks, which were made on Saturday night. Till after, the paper said, the former president said, and then we say, China did it, we didn't do it, China did it, and then they start fighting with each other, and we sit back and watch. Dude. He thinks this is like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like it's like somebody painting like a tunnel into a mountain. And like they run towards the mountain, just hit the wall. You know what I'm talking about? Does anybody have footage of that where like in Wile E. Coyote would like run into the painted wall? Painted wall. Wile E. Coyote. I'm not a good speller. Ignore it. Like this. This is Donald Trump's foreign policy right here. This is it. This is what he wants to do on an international level. And he thinks he could get away with it. Do you think he's going to say he was joking this time? I think he'll probably back down onto he was joking, but it's kind of hard to think he was joking when we read the entirety of the article. But I mean, this is just Looney Tunes nonsense. So let's finish the article, but then let's talk about why that wouldn't work. I don't know why I have to talk about why that wouldn't work, but we do have to talk about why it wouldn't work. According to the Post, Trump also called NATO a paper tiger and says that the military had won skirmishes against Russian troops while he was president and claimed to have been tougher on Vladimir Putin than any U.S. leader. I think what he's referring to here is an interaction with the Wagner group in Syria that he's right that like the Wagner group was absolutely obliterated and it was like over 200 dead or something and like 1 wounded SDF soldier on our side. It's kind of a complicated international incident, but he's not wrong about this. And so this is why I believe it's serious, because he's making a serious speech when he makes this statement. Trump has faced severe criticism for praising the Russian leader since the invasion began. He also said the invasion was wrong. Wonderful. In his speech to about 250 Republican Party top donors at the elite Four Seasons Hotel, the Post said Trump echoed GOP talking points about Joe Biden, claiming Putin would not have invaded Ukraine if he, Trump, had still been in power. I knew Putin very well, Trump said. He would not have done it. He would have never done it. Russia interfered in the 2016 election to benefit Trump. The investigation of that interference produced criminal convictions of Trump aides and extensive evidence Trump may have attempted to obstruct justice. In Helsinki of July of 2018, Trump deferred to Putin in the public and met with him in private without close aides. In 2019, Trump held up military aid to Ukraine in an attempt to get dirt on Biden, resulting in the first of 2 impeachments. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. But I do want to read this ending statement right here. Trump attacked 2 Republicans who have rejected his lie about electoral fraud, because the speech also, he just, went on and on about how the election is stolen, pushing the old lie. The Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, whom Trump called stupid and corrupt, and his former Vice President Mike Pence, who presided over the certification of the electoral results during the January 6th insurrection. The Post reported that several people said Trump talked too long and sounded like he was rambling more in the last 30 minutes. Okay. So, anyway. There are multiple reasons to be concerned about this. The first reason is I think him calling NATO a paper tiger in this instance, when I think NATO's response has generally been on point when it comes to they've been in lockstep when it comes to sanctions. They've been in lockstep when it comes to sending military aid. They've been in lockstep generally ever since the crisis has started, since the invasion has started, when it comes to their response to Russia. But unless he is saying that NATO should have directly gotten involved militarily, even though Ukraine is technically not a NATO state, I don't understand why he would call it a paper tiger. But outside of that, let's talk about this Wile E. Coyote proposal to paint flags onto American jets, fly them into Russia, bomb them, then blame it on the Chinese. So the first thing is, I think there would be multiple indicators they could look to show that they were most likely American jets. That's the first thing. And they don't just look at the flag to determine whether it's an American or Chinese jet. It's not that simple. That's the first thing. The second thing. People's bringing it up. Momo, we are the ones who own F-22s. If out of nowhere a bunch of F-22s just appeared bombing Russia during this international crisis between the United States, NATO, Ukraine, and Russia, and Belarus, and what were clearly American jets with a Chinese flag painted on started bombing Russia, I think they would be able to deduce quite quickly that it was us. And if anything, it would put China closer to Russia's corner on this issue, because they would see us obviously trying to scapegoat them. That's the first reason why this would be stupid. They would immediately figure out it was us. Number 2, where would we even launch such an operation? We can't launch it from China. China's not going to allow us to just land F-22s, paint on the Chinese flag, and then fly them into Russia and then bomb Russia. We would have to launch it from American airspace or American allied airspace. And how are we going to get approval from our allies for such an operation like this? Oh my God. How would we even go about this to make it look like it was the Chinese? Do we do it from Japan or South Korea maybe? And how do they not immediately find out that it launched from these locations and not China? So it would be American planes launching from what would be considered American allied airspace. But the one thing that's going to tell the Russians that these were Chinese flags, these were Chinese planes and not American planes, is not to look at the model of the plane, which is clearly American. Not, if these planes go down, by the way, and they capture our boys, is not to look at who exactly was flying the plane. It's not to look at where the plane came from. They're just going to look at the flag, see it was Chinese, and say, oh, must have been the Chinese who did it. Even though the current geopolitical crisis, okay, is between the United States, Russia, NATO, Ukraine, Belarus. China's not really that involved. So they have like literally zero reason to even be doing this in the first place. And so the Russians would have zero reason to really suspect them outside, again, of a painted on Chinese flag. I will also say this also is contradicting his previous statement saying he didn't want to say what he would do in the scenario. But then immediately when he has a bunch of his friends in a semicircle, then he just starts spouting off his wild ideas, right? The unpredictable Trump. Abaddon666, thank you so much for the tier 1. I left out a 6, I'm very sorry. Now, from Derry Coey in chat, now China is just going to buy an F-22 and create a false flag. You just expose the plan. Well, I'm happy to have saved the world by exposing the plan. Again, I guess the wildest part of this is just that, like, China doesn't even own F-22s. They don't even own this plane model. This would be like if a bunch of Su-35 or like the best of the Russian Air Force just started flying over Moscow and they dropped like 2 bombs and it had a Ukrainian flag painted on it and they said, hey, look, they bombed us. Actually, to be completely honest, many of the Russian false flag attempts at the start of the conflict were basically that. It was basically as silly as that. They didn't even have the metadata in the videos in order. It was shown that they were clearly recorded weeks in advance. But anyway, this is a ridiculously stupid proposal by Donald Trump. The fact that he's still also concentrating on the election fraud stuff and pushing the big lie that the election was stolen and is still trying to undermine our belief and our trust in our election systems is extremely concerning. It's just like an all-around and extremely scary thing that this man was president and that this man could be president again. This sounds ridiculous, and it would be ridiculous if it was just a random political commentator or just Donald Trump, the TV show host, you know, the eccentric New York billionaire, and not Donald Trump, the actual former president of the United States, who could run for office again in 2024 and is sending every signal possible that he will run again, and if he does, he'll most likely win the nomination. That is what is concerning. When we say Donald Trump has the most incoherent foreign policy approach, this is what I mean. Not even from like, he doesn't really label himself as a hardcore realist or someone who participates in the international, like the liberal internationalist school of thought. No, it's not that complicated. He'll just come up with Looney Tune ass scenarios and say, this is my foreign policy proposal. Not to mention him just casually proposing using nukes or him using the Sharpie to like extend the hurricane. Just embarrassing incident after embarrassing incident. I am embarrassed that this man was president of the United States and he's saying shit like this. That's what I'm embarrassed of. My God. Oh my God, can we talk about this for a second? This is the dumbest shit in the play. Dude, look at this. This is, if you believe this, you are the dumbest person on the planet. Number one, okay? Not only is this unbelievably fake, because like, They just put sticker after sticker on it. Like there's a NATO sticker there, there's a NATO sticker there. You know, they just put NATO stickers all over it, on the inside and the outside of a ThinkPad. Okay, so that's the first thing. That why would they put stickers all over it? That's the first thing I'm gonna say. The second thing I'm gonna say is why would NATO give equipment directly to the right sector and not to the Ukrainian military? It doesn't even make sense. Why would they do this, right? Definitely when you know that the United States, for example, banned actually us sending aid to groups like the Azov Battalion in like 2018. But the next thing I want to say, this shit's being held together by duct tape. This computer's like 15 years old. Why would NATO, one of the most largest and most expensive and well-funded military alliances in the world, be sending ThinkPads in aid? Dude, hey guys, did you hear about my new NATO aid package I got from NATO? Yeah, it's crazy, man. Oh yeah, here it is. It's crazy. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's actually called like the NATO Fire. It might just look like a Kindle Fire to you, but it's actually the NATO Fire. It allows NATO-backed militia groups around the world to receive NATO movies and approved magazines. Okay, it's the NATO Fire. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely bonkers. Did you hear about the other one? One second. This is actually what we're currently sending. I believe rebels in Myanmar. Here's the next one. It's really high-tech NATO equipment that we're sending over there. It's actually insane. Very sturdy, by the way. The reason we're sending them these phones is because due to their heavy nature, they can also use the brick phone to bash in the head of the Myanmar military, of any soldier when they get into hand-to-hand combat. So it's dual purpose in both communication and weapons utilization. It's very good. It's anti-drone because it would survive an explosion. Trucks can like run over it. Oh wait, where's the other one? Here it is. And here's the new one. I think that they're working on. This is in some development stages. I think they're working. This is the Japanese government's version. Because you know the Japanese government isn't actually within NATO, but they're working on it. Wait, okay, one more. I think, one second, here it is. I think they're working with, actually, American media figures now to get this stuff out there. So this is the Soldier Boy system sponsored by NATO. They have actually sent this specifically to the Azov Battalion, so they have decent entertainment as they fight the Russian invaders. By working with well-respected figures like Soldier Boy, they're able to bring more attention to the issue. Putin is currently searching for Ukrainians on myspace.com. Oh my god. Anyway, if you believe it, you're mentally broken. And I don't know what to say about. I don't know what to say to you. And there's people in here that actually believe it. Lol at the people who's saying this is fake news. And then like it's just like a link to like It's just like a link to something that proves nothing. I don't understand how anyone could buy this. If it ends up being real, I'll eat my hat. But I'm telling you right now, this is nonsensical. Okay, this is nonsensical. Deleted Zelenskyy tweet. Real. Thank you. Oh my god. Somebody send me that tweet again. I gotta retweet it with this. I got to. Somebody send me it. I need to retweet that with that. Also, everybody go check out the YouTube. We released a new video on Ukraine today. Ukraine-Russian conflict. Oh my goodness. Am I even old enough to know what that disc is? No, and that's what makes it funny. Because this shit is so, like, old, and everybody who knows what this is so old, that, like, I have no clue. And that's how I know it's funny, because this shit is old. This would be in line with our other NATO provided aid. The full technology mud is truly stunning. I remember these. Well, look. What do you mean I'm so old? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna test something. If you guys are older than 21, put a 1 in chat. If you're 21 or younger, put a 2 in chat. I want to see how much of my chat is older than me. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're like all older than me. And I know like half of you are just putting 2 as a meme, because I know some of you guys that are much, like Geek is like in his 50s. My god, you guys really are older than me. Baby Dylan, shut up. Is this grooming? Yeah, I'm being groomed by my audience. This is the first reverse grooming to ever occur on Twitch. I started streaming when I was 18. I'm now 21 and perfectly set up to do 6 to 8 hour streams. First ever reverse grooming in Twitch history. That's enough of mocking you guys all for being old, okay? Did you guys also know that if you sub to my Twitch channel, you'll gain 1 year back in life? You'll just become younger. It's actually a huge benefit to the channel. I recommend Geek at least drop 20 subs. Okay, people have kept linking me this, right? So this is a Russian POW. So I'm gonna be honest, right? I don't put much weight in these videos. I put basically next to no weight in these. And the reason why I don't put a ton of weight into these videos is because if a person is a POW, there are certain personal interests that POWs are going to have in saying things that are favorable to the person that they're, you know, a prisoner of war towards. I think this was debunked. If you could send me a link, I'd appreciate it. But like, so if you send me footage of a POW saying like, hey, like I didn't have any supplies and da-da-da-da-da, like, if I get enough reports on it, or some of those reports seem credible, then I'm gonna be like, okay, great. But you show me a POW just like trashing the Russian government for like 10 minutes or something, right? And while it might be of note and it might be interesting, I can only put so much weight in my belief on this, because there's a decent chance that he's just saying whatever he can, you know? Link about the Russian POW maybe being fake. A Ukrainian officer. Dude, can I be honest? When I see shit like this, can I be for real? I've dealt with enough conspiracy theorists to know that 2 people looking similar is not evidence that they're the same person. Okay? I remember that dude who came on trying to say Kyle Rittenhouse was actually one of the Sandy Hook kids. Hey, Amathros, thank you for getting 5 more years added to your life. I appreciate the 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, buddy. The Ukrainian officer is missing his arm. Oh. And is this guy not missing his arm? Why you should think twice about sharing that viral video of an apparent Russian POW. Anybody who's using social media to follow the Russian invasion of Ukraine has probably come across it by now. A 10-minute video of a man who appeared to be a Russian prisoner of war rejecting his homeland's justification for the invasion and a misinformation campaign that undergirds it. The thing is, have you guys ever seen the movie, I forget what it's called. Not Emperor. It was a very famous movie. This one. Oh, it's Unbroken. It's a decent movie. I liked it. And it's about American prisoners of war in Japan, right? And how terribly they were treated, which they were treated absolutely terribly. And there's a scene in the movie where he is being offered a deal to speak out against the American government in order to get like, and so the offer is that if he speaks out against his country on the radio and tells them to end the war and do any of that, etc., then he gets certain benefits, like better treatment and etc., right? And so, even though I'm not alleging that the Ukrainian military is offering that to POWs, what I am saying is that prisoners of war coming forward and denouncing their country's government and stuff like that, like going out and saying my country's wrong and da 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 da, like, you have no clue what produced that scenario. Obviously, when you're a prisoner of war, there's a lot of motivations involved in order for you to keep yourself safe and secure, and you'll say a lot of things in order probably to like stay safe. And so it isn't that crazy of an idea that is a possibility in this conflict. And that's why when I see these videos, I think of this scene. I think of this interaction. Anyway, it's a really good scene, really good movie, but you get the idea. And so this is why when it comes to POW stuff, I take it all with a grain of salt. And hopefully this is what this article is going to talk about. One version, posted Sunday morning, has racked over 90,000 retweets and 220,000 likes on Twitter. It's merely the latest in a string of Russian POW videos that have been disseminated far and wide in recent days, as most of the world unites behind Ukraine, and it's kibble for the social media crowd, and in that it confirms their prior beliefs, and indeed confirms much of what we know objectively about Russian misinformation, in a compelling and seemingly heartfelt appeal. It is also something you should be extremely cautious about, because human rights group says, and this is also something I haven't brought up, but is true, that it violates international law. The Geneva Convention have extensive rules for prisoners of war, and among them is prohibiting on turning them into subjects of public curiosity. Likewise, prisoners of war must at all times be protected, particularly against acts of violence or intimidation, and against insults and public curiosity. As such videos have circulated, plenty of critics have urged people to stop sharing them. The International Committee of the Red Cross has said that sharing such POWs very much falls under the Geneva Convention's prohibition. And the ICRC and other human rights groups have reiterated this repeatedly in recent days. They note that in such cases, in like the 10-minute soliloquy, it is nearly impossible to conclude with certainty whether the sentiments are genuine or might have involved some type of coercion, either explicit or implicit. This is a really good article. This is literally everything I wanted to. This is all my criticisms of this. Some people have defended the dissemination of POW videos for a variety of reasons. Ukraine says some of the videos are necessary to document Russia's alleged war crimes. Plenty of other viewers reacted to the 10-minute long video by arguing that the statements appear genuine and uncoerced. You have no clue. And even that it seems unlikely the man is speaking anything but truth, because they doubt anyone could be that good of an actor. One British member of parliament wrote Sunday that the man's statement was clearly made willingly and touching sincerity, he added. I hope it is widely heard. But human rights groups have said that this blanket rule should apply even in cases in which a video is compelling or seems sincere. Although it may seem in some videos that POWs are free to speak as they wish, they are held captive by another military force, and it is almost impossible to judge one video from the conditions they face. Okay, you get the idea, okay? So this is why we're probably just going to skip this one, okay? And going forward, we're probably going to skip other videos that, like, prisoners of war. If it's like a picture of, like, someone was taking a picture of war, I might be like, oh, okay, that happened. But if it's going to be like, here's my 10-minute speech about why the Russian government sucks, like, I'm going to take that with the largest grain of salt you could possibly imagine. You're saying the Geneva Convention is a joke. Whether or not you personally think it's a joke, or whether people follow it to the letter or not, doesn't mean we shouldn't. I mean, remember North Korea and Otto Warmbier, student, about 5 years ago? Exactly my point. And this is actually talking about Vietnam. But I just used a different example in Japan. So, okay. Sentiment delivered. 1 second. I'm trying to find desperately this UFC. Here it is. So this guy, apparently it was received very well. Look how many likes this got, right? What he said, okay? So just listen to this guy, okay? Just listen to this guy for a second. So this guy is Bryce Mitchell. From what I've heard from a lot of UFC fans, I'm more of a boxing guy, less of a UFC guy. He used to not be this crazy. Oh, but wait, I'm biasing you. He might have some good things to say. Okay.
Okay. Don't prime me.
I don't want to prime you. Not at all.
The
I
last
bet-
time you, the last
Oh.
time you primed someone, it didn't work out too. Sorry, I don't mean to roast you. I'm on my way to the shower.
my-
I just finished the workout, so I'm all fired up.
You came in here to bully me. Okay, let's play
I
it.
did.
Well, I just wanted to get your thoughts on
the
the whole
Russia to
Russia
Ukraine.
and Ukraine
Sorry,
situation.
You know, here's my first thought is I'm not going nowhere to fight none of these wars for these politicians. I'm staying at home, and when the war comes to Arkansas, I will dig my boots in the ground, and I will die for everything I love, and I will not retreat. If this country's invaded and everybody's saying, well, we gotta evacuate, we gotta leave, I will not. I will dig my boots in the Arkansas soil, and I will fight for the people that I love, for the land that I love, and the way of life that I love. But
I love the sentiment, but who the fuck's coming for Arkansas? I was coming for Arkansas.
I can think of one thing that's coming for Arkansas:
Opioid addiction?
poverty. Oh yeah,
Oh.
opioid addiction.
Okay, we were on the same level on that.
Yeah, listen, this sparks a good question. Like, I don't know why we don't go to more UFC fighters for foreign policy takes. You know, like this really opens the door. It opens my eyes to a new market for political commentary. People who get punched in the head for a living.
Bro, the
Yeah.
brain damage makes the takes better. Like, did you see Trump's takes about... Now, I know you know a thing or two about China. What do you think about Trump's takes? I know you're not, like, the best expert in the world, but maybe you can tell me if this is a good or bad idea. Trump said, and I don't... Did you see his takes on China on this issue? On Ukraine?
On China? Oh no.
He said that we should take F-16 fighter jets and paint Chinese flags on them and then bomb Russia to make Russia fight China.
Oh my. What does he? What is this Wile E. Coyote logic?
That's exactly what I said! That's exactly what I said. It's this Wile E. Coyote, Looney Tunes type shit. Like, number one, China doesn't have F-16 fighter jets. So how would it even... Why would they... Wouldn't the Russians be a little confused as to why it was F-16s? Number two, they don't look for the flag to identify which country it's from. Number three, where would we even launch the planes from? Would we launch... Where would we launch it from?
Okay, here's what we do. We launch F-16s, okay? And instead of instead of Highway to the Danger Zone blaring out of them, we equip them with boom boxes, and we play like something like this. We play this coming out of them.
Wow.
That's what we do.
Oh, it was F-22s. I'm sorry. That makes it much more logical. Thank you, chat. But that's not a terrible idea. I was saying they should airdrop a panda to get the message across as well.
Oh yeah, instead of bombs, they drop pandas.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is the dumbest thing. We'll just paint Russian flags on them.
No, Chinese flag.
Or Chinese
That's
flag,
much.
yeah.
Don't make it sound silly, okay?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Russia bombing. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
This
that would
makes
spark a
sense.
civil war. Maybe bombing or painting Russian flags on them is the way to go.
True. Maybe Soviet flags. Confuse them a little bit.
Oh yeah, Soviet flags. that's the way to go.
Tanutuva. Bring back Tanutuva, maybe.
I don't know who that is, but I think we should do it.
Hawaii 4 fans will know. Anyway, let's
Oh.
continue this wonderful gentleman's statement here.
I'm not going overseas to fight. I don't know what's going on, to be honest, brother. I really don't. There's so much stuff, and I don't think nobody knows what's going on fully. There's been...
Can I just say, whoever asked this question fucking knew this would happen. He asked this question, then immediately covered his mouth to stop himself from laughing. Like, the whole time, he probably had to, like, keep it down, you know, stop himself. He knew what he was darting, and he was so happy at this response. I just know it.
The guy's so confident, and then he's like, "I don't know what's happening."
I
over there, but let me tell you."
I know literally nothing about what's going on, but let me proceed to now tell you exactly what's going on.
so
I
much
don't know nothing about what's going on, but sit down and listen.
Exactly.
political corruption in that area.
See, now he's going to describe. He's like, I know nothing about what's going on, but let me tell you about the complex issue of corruption.
Much political corruption in that area. You got Biden and his son making a shit ton of money off of and using our tax dollars to bribe their people. That's treasonous, in my opinion. So you got Hunter Biden and his son using our tax dollars. Hey, if you...
What the fuck? I don't even know what I get the whole Hunter Biden and I don't even know what they're using our tax dollars is coming from. But, like, he says, I don't know anything about this, and then accused people of treason, like 10 seconds later. Like, if I said I didn't know anything about an issue, I wouldn't say, guilty, death penalty, like, immediately after. Like, treason, like, comes with the death penalty in many aspects. Like, I don't understand why he's so confident if he acknowledges he knows nothing.
Now, this is a complex political topic, and I don't know nothing about it. I'm just a good old boy from Arkansas. But them lizard people better let us see them alien spaceships they got in Roswell, New Mexico.
That's 100% what's going on. I don't know. Like, you can just say, I don't know, and then be like, I don't know anything about Ukraine, and then like, move on. You're allowed to do that. That's legally. That's not illegal, right? Like, he should know that, right?
Ukrainian government, if you don't do this, we're taking your tax dollars. He shouldn't be giving our tax dollars to that country anyways. We got veterans out here sleeping on the street, and you're going to give our freaking tax dollars to these Ukrainians and all. Brother, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm not going over there and fighting, and God bless anybody that's over there fighting, and I hope that this shit just gets solved. And, man, I don't like war. You know what I mean? I don't want people dying and all that stuff. I don't want to be, but I don't know what's going on. There's so much stuff that I think that's corrupted that we just don't.
He's a pacifist. He's a pacifist. He's a man of peace. The people are like, OMG, this is terrific. What he said is so true. Listen to what he's saying. Wow.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Like, did you read that report on how many people like consume lead paint as a child? I'm thinking there might be something correlative.
I did skim that yesterday. It wasn't. There was actually a new report about leaded gasoline, since they were only banned in like the 90s or something like that. That like some researchers estimated a drop of like a couple IQ points off basically everybody that was alive before 1994 or something like that, which includes yours truly, by the way.
I'm good
No
though.
surprise
2001, baby. Whoa.
But listen, I didn't read that report super thoroughly. I really hope nobody goes around repeating what I just said as if it's a fact, because I have no idea if it's true or how that shit's.
I mean, it's true. It's a fact.
Okay, all right.
And look, I actually read. I heard that in Arkansas specifically, it actually dropped 20 points, and specifically this guy's community.
I heard it dropped 20 points on March 5th, 2022. At 7:54 a.m.
At 7:54 a.m. is specifically when it dropped 20 points.
Yeah, there was like a blast radius.
There must have been like a blast radius of like lead paint in the area.
Yeah, it was like a psi blast radius.
People had to like take a pressure washer to like 20, like all the people in the community to save them.
Surrounding wherever this interview was, that's where. That's like a 200-mile blast radius, psi blast radius of 20 IQ points.
Exactly. Can I show you one more video? One more, and then you can head out. I know you're.
I really got to take a shower.
Okay, but I want to show you this. I don't know if you saw this video right here. So this is a pro-Russia account, and they posted a video of many pets were left behind by their owners due to the war in Ukraine. Russian soldiers are feeding their pets.
What the fuck? How is this like? You'd have to have an IQ of 6 to digest this propaganda. Like, it literally says in there, hey, these pets are fucking homeless because of our invasion that chased their owners off. Like, they expect you to think, oh my god, those inhumane monsters. They fled their country.
But look at that puppy. Look at the puppies.
Look at how nice the Russians are. They like puppies.
They like puppies. And they hate dirty Ukrainians. But they love
God,
puppies.
I love Russia now.
Like, oh my goodness. So cute. Look at, oh, that is a cute dog. Fair. That one's the cutest though. I do gotta say that, like, it is like, I think this issue might have been solved if, the country wasn't invaded in the first place. I feel like maybe Ukraine wasn't invaded, then they wouldn't have to take care of the pets in the first place. Just an idea.
Maybe I was thinking Ukraine could have just fucking joined the EU and joined Russia if they had just sent like a big enough shipment of puppies to the Russian military.
True. 100% true. Look at these. Oh my god, they are adorable.
Look how preoccupied they are. It's like the new decoy.
Oh my goodness. Those Russian soldiers are... Oh,
she has a skull patch on her arm.
She has a fucking... She's a pirate and shit. Like, she fucking... Oh my goodness. Anyway, thanks for coming on and just hanging out, man. You have a good one, okay?
Hey, you too. I love you.
Take a good shower. Don't be filthy.